So when will the brony fandom die? Let's talk about it. So if you don't know me, my name is Clipper Croix, or at least that's what I go by on here, or just Croix, Craft Croix. I don't even know anymore. I don't know who I am. But I think that the brony fandom, it's been around for a while. And as much as I'd like to say, oh, it'll never die, the ride never ends, I think there will come a time where it won't be the same as it once was, and it'll just be a lot smaller. It is already kind of small, but it'll get to a point where it's just sort of a thing that was from the past. And I feel like we're kind of there already. And also, I just want to make this clear that I've only been in the fandom for not even 4 years now. So I don't know everything. Don't take everything I say like as the pony gospel or whatever. I just wanted to talk about this. I was recently at Winnie City PonyCon, and it's like I've said this a couple times, but it's like a family reunion almost, to the point where it's like this big get together with all your brony buddies, right? And I don't think can just go away overnight. It'll take a while until it kind of dies out. And we're at a time right now where the fandom as a whole is doing really well, considering the fact that we haven't had any new content for a very long time. It's doing really well. It is doing remarkably well. It's been, I don't know, a few years since it was, I think, like October 2024. I don't know if that's right, when Make Your Mark last came out, or Tell Your Tale, my bad. So I remember watching that one, and I didn't really enjoy it, but I never really enjoyed G5. And there are people that don't. The G4 fandom will kind of always be bigger than the G5 fandom. And I think regarding Generation 6, I think we were able to make it through Generation 5. Generation 6 is going to be a little bit different, though. I don't know what it's going to pertain. I think that if they do go down the path of like using AI and stuff, I feel like that's going to turn a lot of people off from it. And probably even myself included. I'm not like the biggest AI hater of all time, but there are a lot of people that despise AI with every fiber of their being. So if the show chooses to use AI for like animating and whatever, that's going to turn a lot of people off and might push them to other shows that don't. Even though Generation 4 didn't, they might still be into that, but there are some people that will just go elsewhere. They don't really want to be associated with it. And another thing that I think could lead to the downfall of it is just over time, if you've done something and you've seen it all. So even if we don't get any new content ever, which I think at some point we will, it's like, this isn't new. I've seen this every episode before. I've done everything. There's not much else to do. Like, yeah, there's still fan content coming out, but at some point it just kind of loses its original spark, and I think at that point you might move on. But another thing that I found interesting was a lot of the people that were at Winnie City PonyCon, they were quite a bit older than me. So I'm 20 for reference. And yeah, a lot of the people that I talked to were like in their 30s or older. And there are still new people coming in, but I feel like if we don't get new people that are joining and entering, then our churn will be bad, right? Our churn meaning like people in and people out. So if we don't get some new blood soon, which we do, I mean, there were a lot of new or people that have like never been to a PonyCon or never been to Winnie City before, but then again, it has been 2 years since the last one. But another thing that I should probably mention is like, this isn't just with cons, right? There are a lot of people in the fandom that have never been to or never will be at a pony convention. So when we're measuring like how big is the brony fandom, you can't. There's no one single metric or several. There could be people that never interact online that are would identify as a brony, and it's very difficult. I'd even probably argue that it's impossible to determine how many people there still are, because there are people that just watch the show and they don't interact with anybody online or in person or whatever. So, I mean, cons is definitely a good way of measuring that. And there are actually a lot of new cons that are still coming. So, like there is Sunshine PonyCon, that one's coming this summer. There is Brony Expo, that was a new one. They had a booth at Winnie City. And then there was NayCon a while back. I think that one's a new one. I mean, then again, there was BabsCon that shut down, but overall, there are still new cons that are coming. Oh, there's also like a Great Lakes one. So there are definitely more cons that are popping up, which is good to see. And I mean, like I said, we can't measure it solely based on that, but that is a good metric. And I mean, another metric is just like YouTube on YouTube. So like I every now and then I see new pony creators popping up, and that's always good to see. And like pony videos still get thousands of views. Like my most viewed video was like the racism one, and that got 100,000. Now, granted, like not all those people would consider themselves like a brony or a Pegasus or whatnot. They just might kind of like it enough to click on a video. So, and so yeah, I don't think the brony fandom will die anytime soon, but some other things that could possibly lead to the end of it might just be if, I know a while back there were the lost narrator and her wife, Magpie, my bad. Both got their channels like taken away, right? And or unmonetized, demonetized. So if the pony people, like the Hasbro, the big boys that control that, continue to like crack down on that and don't let us create content, then that would probably lead to a dark future where we can't continue to create content. And I mean, we still can, obviously, but it's just why would you want to get into this world of pony videos when you risk getting monetized? And I know there was the Copa stuff a while back, but this is a little bit different than that. That was like everything being set to made for kids, but that's still not very good. And if they're going to crack down on that, then it's kind of like, why would we even want to stay? But there are still a lot of people that genuinely enjoy ponies, and I don't think it's coming anytime soon when it will end, but at some point, if we don't get any new people, then eventually it'll just kind of die out. And another thing that I do want to mention is it's been going for a very long time. You know, it lost its initial hype probably 12, 13 years ago. So I would have loved to live through the golden age of the fandom, but unfortunately I would have been 6 or 7. So I never got to live through that, but I think that I enjoy where it is right now. I think that it being smaller is actually enjoyable because you get to you kind of know everybody, you know, and that's really special to me. That's special that we don't want it to be mainstream. We want it just to kind of have it to ourselves. Not like a cult, but sort of in a way. Anyways, that's about it, I guess. Just I guess, and that doesn't say, I mean, I'm not saying like you can't be into My Little Pony once it's dead. There'll always be people that like it. Eventually it'll get old and it just won't be relevant anymore. And yeah, we've made it a long time, that if we could make it this long, then what's stopping us from going another 10, 15 years, right? But at some point, all good things must come to an end. And that's sad, because we don't want ponies to end. We want ponies forever. But yeah, I mean, keep doing what you're doing. This was kind of like a downer, doomer video, but there's still hope. There's still hope for it to live on. As long as like you've got me and I've got you, that's all we need, right? Just the love for ponies will carry us on into the future. But at some point, I think as the people start to age out of it, or it just is no longer interesting, then it may eventually just kind of be even smaller than it currently is. And there's not a whole lot you can do about that. Things just have to die at some point. It's just part of life. So yeah, anyways, thank you for watching. Go check out my main channel, Clipper Croix, where I do other pony videos that are less doomer than this. And join my Discord server. I'll link it in the description if I remember. But otherwise, I will see you on the other side. And as always, happy clipping or crafting or clopping. I don't even know anymore. Goodbye.